This video is sponsored by my book, Foldable Flights Incredible Paper Airplanes, which contains step-by-step instructions for 15 of my paper airplanes, links to video tutorials, and illustrated folding paper for each plane. Fold planes that spiral as they fly, boomerang back to you, or simply fly really, really far. Now available on Amazon or foldableflight.com. Hello pilots of the internet, welcome to Foldable Flight. In this video I am teaching you how to fold one of my favorite paper airplanes, and this one's called Strider. And as you can see in the overhead, this is just a beautiful paper airplane in its overall shape, and it has these awesome fins that really add to its appearance. It also locks in the front and in the back, which helps it to perform actually quite well. And all the layers on the bottom are nice and tidy as well. Now, as with most of my YouTube planes, I have designed a template for this, so if you support me on Patreon, you can download and print off a template so you can fold a plane that looks like this rather than just a plain white sheet of paper. And if you're a fan of blue, there is actually a blue version as well. So with that said, let's see the plane in flight and then I'll teach you how to fold it. All you will need in order to fold Strider is an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper. And with that, we will begin by folding this right edge to the left edge. I always rotate my paper as I do this just because it's easiest, in my opinion, to fold toward myself. And as always, symmetry is going to be important as you fold this plane, so try as hard as you can to land those corners perfectly on top of each other. And while we have it folded, you can see this is my folded edge here. I'm now going to fold this top edge to this right edge and form a triangle like so. And I'll flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Now folding to this edge. And I'll unfold there, and in fact I will unfold all the way back into this orientation here. And next I want to rotate the paper like so, and I'm going to fold this top edge to this left edge. And I really want the crease I make to go right through that top corner. Accuracy here is important, so do your best. Okay, and I can unfold that, and I'm going to do the same thing now on the other side where I want to fold through this corner, folding the top edge to this side. And I'll open that back up. And you can see now our paper should look like this with these intersecting creases. And I'm actually going to go ahead now and I'm going to fold from this crease to this crease straight through this intersection. So basically I'm pulling that side up, but actually I like to rotate my paper and pull toward myself again. And you can see I'm just pulling this down and searching for that intersection. And I crease all the way across like so. And this crease I just formed, you see, goes right through that intersection. And now I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half again and fold this edge here to our folded edge over here. And I'll flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Folding my raw edge to my folded edge. And I can open this back up. And let's see here. I want to close it here so that we have the edge farthest from me is the one where we folded the triangle. And while I have it in this orientation, I now want to fold this edge to this edge here. And instead of creasing all the way, I'm just making what is called a pinch crease so I can see that reference point. If you can't see it, I'll try to highlight it for you. I've just created a little pinch line right along that crease there. And now what I'm going to do is I want to fold. I'm pulling all the way into the corner, and I'm going to fold from the corner to this pinch crease I just made. So here, I'll highlight that crease on the other side as my reference, and you can see here I'm pulling it up into that corner and creasing right through that reference. I didn't mark it quite correctly with the pin, so what you see on camera may be a little different from where I actually am aiming. And I can unfold like so, and I'm actually going to flip it over and repeat those two steps on this side where I'm folding this edge here to this crease and just pinch creasing. And now I fold from this top corner through that reference. Trying to land this accurately while keeping my head out of the way is a little bit challenging, so hopefully my plane will turn out well. Okay, and you can see I'm going to open this back up just to show you what we have here. You can see we have these diverging diagonal lines that are each going into the top center. And basically what we want is we have also one going into that corner. What we want is one that is going to diverge in the same way from this crease. So while I have the paper open this time, I'm actually going to just rotate it, and I want to fold now from this corner to where this line, the existing one we have, intersects this vertical line that is going the full length of the page. So this point right here is my new reference, and I know my paper's getting kind of messy, but I'm folding from this corner to that point, and I'll be able to see on the other side right where those two lines meet. So this is one crease and this is the other crease, and I want right where they meet to be the point where I fold. Again, it's hard for me to tell if I'm right on it from this angle, but we're folding something like that all the way through the paper, and we'll unfold, and now I'll do the same thing on the other side, which will be less messy. Here's my reference. I'll just highlight it as a point. And I want to rotate, or here I'll have to highlight it on the other side. There's my point. So now I'm folding from this corner through there to that point right there. And I will unfold. So now you can see we really do, we have diverging creases on both sides. And now what we need to do is we want to set them at specific angles. So some of them are going to be mountain creases and some of them are going to be valley creases. So the first thing is we want our center crease to be a valley crease and our outer vertical creases to be mountain creases. So that's where we're just going to start. That's really easy. Okay. Next, we want the lower M. So this portion here and this leg right there too. All of those creases need to be valley creases. So if they are not, like this one for instance is not a valley crease, you just reinforce right along it, reverse that crease. So there, and this is not a valley crease, so I'll make that a valley crease. Make sure that is, and I'm pretty sure this is too. Yep. So all four of these creases that make up this lower M are valley creases. Now we want the upper M. This M, which is made up by these upper creases here, all of the ones of that angle, all of those need to be mountain creases. So if they're not, fold away from yourself on those creases, or flip the paper over and fold on one of those creases to make it a mountain crease. And I'm going to do that just on all of them. This one needs to be mountain as well. Okay, so now we kind of have that set, but what we really want to do is we're going to make an M. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these points into position so that you can see now really reinforced right along these edges is mountain, all four of those, valley, all four of these. And now here's the trick. So I told you this center needed to be a valley and these outer ones needed to be mountains. But the section inside these diamonds in the M needs to reverse. So where this is a valley, that has to become a mountain. And where this is a mountain, this little section has to become a valley. And the same thing on this side, valley. And you can see now I can push in, now that I've reversed those portions, I can push in on either side, and this is going to allow me to collapse it all the way. And I notice that this little section right here in the middle is fighting me just a little bit, so I'm going to fiddle with that and get that working. And now I can collapse it all the way into this orientation. And in fact, I do want to land it sideways like this. And you can see here, just make sure you understand, I collapse it like that, and I'm rotating it just into that orientation. So next, I'm going to just go ahead and open this side, and you can see I've got an existing crease there. I just want to follow that crease all the way to this back edge here. And I'll flip the paper over and lift this open in the same way. You can see my sides are not lining up, and part of that's just because I haven't been able to put my head over the paper to really make my creases accurate. And now the last thing is I'm going to open this side down. I'm opening down and continuing my crease all the way through there. This edge will continue into a crease there. That crease continues all the way through like so. So your paper should look like this, and we're going to flip it over because we want to work with this section of the paper. And we're actually going to fold it to the other side and then stand it up like so. And you can see we've got this big fin right in the middle of our paper. And the trick here is we now want to collapse that fin by pulling outward on either side. And then once we've pulled out like that, we pull this top point to land here. The top point landing on that point like so. Or it doesn't actually land on that point, but fold toward that point and land it on the center crease. And then we will open this pocket up and flatten it like so. And your plane should look like this. Next, we're going to fold this edge in. And the way we want to judge exactly how we're doing that is you can see we've got this edge here on the other side of the paper. And basically we want to fold right along that edge. Again, I'm trying to keep my head out of the way here, but something like that. And now you can see a portion of what we just folded crossed the center crease. We want to fold that section back across the center. Okay, and your plane should look like this. And we're going to repeat those steps on the other side. And I'll fold this across the center. And now I'm going to actually open this right side up back to this orientation. And I want to reverse this crease, just using it to fold in the opposite direction. And now I'm going to fold this edge right here to land on the top edge of our plane. And now I'm going to, you can see you can pull these layers forward and they're going to catch on this part. What you want to do is that is one reference for where you want to fold. And then the other reference is you want to fold right to this point where this layer is intersecting that layer. So you're folding like that. So we just created a little tab like that. And we're going to go ahead and open up the other side and do the same thing. So we're reversing this top crease here. Then folding this edge up to the top edge. And now we're pulling this forward as far as these layers will go. And you're not just grabbing this top layer, you're grabbing this layer behind it too. And folding like so. Okay, and now while we have it open, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to fold this little edge, this very short edge right there, to land on that crease that we have right there. Like so, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and now we're ready to fold in like that. Now what the trick is we've created this little tab, and we can tuck that tab in behind these layers as we do that. So I'm folding in on our existing crease and tucking that tab in behind all those other layers, like so, and that's going to lock our layers together. And I'll do the same thing on this side, folding in on our existing crease and locking that tab behind all the other layers. Oops, my other tab came undone as I did that. Just put both back there, like so. And I want to flip my plane over now. You can see here we have the potential to make fins, and basically I want to fold them along their natural breaking point that's going to go basically back to this corner right here of this fin, but it doesn't actually quite land there. You can see on the other side you want the distance between this crease and the top edge of the fin to be the same as you have it on the other side. So just be conscious of that as you crease, and you should have a fin that will now stand like that, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. And you can see our fins are like this. So now we can go ahead and fold our plane in half, like so. And what we want to do is we're going to fold from the very point of our plane, the nose of our plane there, sweeping up towards the back of the plane. And what we want to do is I'm going to start folding, and I'll show you exactly how I'm deciding how big I want to make these wings. So again, my crease starts right at the nose of the plane. And now what I want to do is the new crease I make, I want it to run parallel to this crease at the base of my fin. And that's going to ensure that my fins are parallel to the direction of travel for the plane, and will give it the most directional stability with the least drag. So I folded one. Now I'll flip it over and fold my other wing to match. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to fold a short little winglet with a crease about there-ish that is running parallel again to the direction of this fin. So it's just going to look like that, and then I'll flip my plane over and do the same thing on the other side. And you can see we are essentially done with Strider at this point. You can open it up, see that it's looking really nice, but it doesn't yet lock together in the back, which means if you throw it, by all means, you could call this a finished plane, but when you throw it, you can see it wants to open up a little bit. And the problem with that is now our fins are no longer going to be parallel to the direction of travel. So what we want to do is lock this back edge together. And to do that, we're going to close our plane like this once again. And I'm going to now fold, and one of my references here is the wing crease where it intersects the back edge right there. And then otherwise, I want to fold a crease that's going to that point and allows this edge right here to go a little bit past the wing crease. So you can see here's my wing crease. I'm allowing this edge to go past it, but not too much. So something like that. You can see I'm almost even landing it on that crease right there. And I'll go ahead and crease like so. And now, while I have it creased like this, I'll actually fold this edge here to land on that edge. Okay, and now I will open this up. And sadly, this is one of the more complex parts of the plane, but you can see I've got it open like this. Basically, I want to push this whole triangle up like so as I close this plane. And now, let's see, I'm going to back up just slightly because I don't like where my crease landed here. It landed too high and it's going to be ugly. So there, just fixing that slightly. Now, while we have our plane like this, I want to push this top section sideways, just using the existing creases that we already have, and I'm feeding it in. So let me back that out again. You can see we did the bigger triangle. As we push this up, we're doing the bigger triangle, and now I'm pushing this whole section sideways and working towards the back and closing it up. And that is going to lock our whole back edge together. And you can even, I know it's hard to see, but you can even start working with it completely flat and ensure all your creases are nice and tight at that point. And then just remake your wing creases like so. And you can see our back edge is now completely locked together and our plane is very nice and tidy. And I've marked all over this one, but you can see again what a finished version of this plane can look like, how beautiful it is. So, thank you so much for watching. As always, good luck flying your plane.